Okay guys, so in today's video, let's discuss very seriously why I believe that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 deserves an open world to actually function properly and also have success. By the way, at the start of each video, I'm gonna just put here the leak about why we know that Xenoverse 3 is coming, because some of you guys are latecomers to the video, you're gonna subscribe later on, so you're gonna be like, how does Riken know about Xenoverse 3? How does he have this information? This information was leaked on Twitter, okay, so it's available for everyone to watch, but yeah, just remember that it's already been leaked that the game is in development. So we're going to talk about a lot of this. We're going to make a lot of videos on this topic, about the story, about the world, about the graphics, about the characters. A lot of things are going to be covered in this series about Xenoverse 3. So in today's videos, let's discuss a very important subject matter, and that is, guys, none other than the open world of the game. The game itself, as you guys know, Xenoverse 2 was not an open world. It was a game where you had like a main hub area, and then obviously in that main hub area you had your, effectively what we call the Cotton City. Let's just go here to the pictures here so you can see some examples, obviously. So you had your Cotton City there, and then obviously in Cotton City then you have your different NPCs. You're gonna meet up and learn techniques and stuff. It was great because at the time, you know, SSD was not a thing back in the day, right? Back in 2016, and the games could not cope with high loading screens, right? Like, lots of loading, lots of assets. It would be very difficult. But then obviously Dragon Ball Z Kakarot came along, and that was the first actual Dragon Ball game where it gave you the sense of an open world in a very close form. Obviously it was not 100% open world, as you can imagine, because you had these different regions, different areas, but in itself, as a cohesion, it felt pretty cool, because at the end of the day, that open world feeling you had in the game was made possible because the world map would show you the locations you can go to and, you know, fast travel, and then going there, each location was quite big with its own, like, obviously quests, with its own bosses, own enemies and whatnot, and you can use different like flying mechanics, so it was pretty cool. So this is why, guys, Kakarot is the really good template for them to then now say, okay, so we want to make Xenoverse 3. The best thing to do with Xenoverse 3, guys, from my point of view, is that they should look at combining the CAC, okay, the customizable characters from Xenoverse, which is gonna be a thing, obviously, but then bring in an open world environment, because we all know that, yes, guys, it's gonna happen. The game is only going to be releasing for the next gen consoles. We had confirmation on that, and again, it makes sense because in 2024, when this game is going to be ready, the chances of people like still releasing, other companies releasing games for the PS4 is going to be very, very little. Most companies have transitioned to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and because of that transition is happening, it makes sense for them to develop technology which kind of harness the platform, right? 60 FPS is a thing, an open world. Just imagine for a second, so you have your CAC character, obviously, or your character in Xenoverse 3, and then you start off at an initial zone, for example, like in like city whatever D whatever, right? And when you start off, you can then basically progress with your character, learn new techniques in the area, advance, kill different enemies, different boss areas. You can join different like public events. For example, in Diablo 4, what they're making now is that it's an open world instance. In Diablo 4, it's obviously isometric, but still the same thing, right? So you have your customizable character, it's the open world, you explore, and then in the open public world there are going to be instances where there's going to be public boss raids, which you can join if you want, or not join if you don't want to. If you join, you gain experience and you gain rewards. So the same thing could apply. Xenoverse really would be great because you could, for example, I'm gonna just put this here, right? For the story, you're gonna talk about the story a bit later on, but for the story itself, they could just make it, for example, that you start as a character, which you create yourself, and then you have to train yourself in the world. So you seek out all these expert trainers like Goku, like Vegeta, like Piccolo, and whatnot, and you learn skills from them, and then also you unlock them by fighting against them in their story missions, and so on and so forth. So that could be kind of like the, you know, like the kind of premise of it, right? And obviously there's going to be historic missions, whatever, and that's going to be a whole different thing. We're just talking about this, just talking about an actual potential open world. This is where I believe Xenoverse 2 is having a lot of issues right now, because at the end of the day, Xenoverse 1 and 2 are very similar. Of course, Xenoverse 2 improved upon it on many features, but at the end of the day, it was still kind of like this small area where you just explore whatever, and then you have to join a fight in an arena, lots of loading screens, also there's just so much loading implied in the game, and that just kind of, for me, breaks the experience. Like, for example, I like a game either where you just jump into the fight, like for example, like the old Budokai Tenkaichi or the old obviously fighters as well. You just jump into the fight very quickly, loads, you fight, you finish, you fight, you finish. Whereas in Xenoverse, you have to like go around, move around a lot, and it's not open world either, and it's not like just fighting either. So I would really be pleased if they move on from this and just create that full open world experience where by exploring you can actually uncover secret skills, right? Just imagine for a second, because if this would become an open world, you could just bring into it so many things from other games like Dark Souls, for example. Like, you explore a hidden path, and then in that hidden path you find like a secret like enemy or secret boss or a secret base with which has like some special enemies, and you defeat those enemies, and then you gain a skill point, and then that skill gives you access to like a new ability. Like, can you see like how you can then expand this and then obviously make everyone's experience in Xenoverse 3 unique? And if you can still join people, there's still going to be tournaments, of course. There's going to be areas where you can join people and, you know, fight PvP. That's absolutely fine. That's why the World Tournament is for. You can just join the tournament or join like a PvP area, whatever. That's absolutely fine. But the open world in itself would be really good, because it would offer people experience in playing the game in a story environment and also going into the PvP areas, like a tournament area where you can just go and fight and play and, you know, just do whatever you want. And this is where I believe that it has so much potential right now, to be honest. Like Xenoverse 3, and also by using what we know, the SSD, which is really important. Like, for example, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2, they said they're making it only for the PS5 because the game is going to be massive. It's going to have these big, massive open worlds, and it needs the SSD to load things properly. All right, this is the reason. This is why the game is not coming to PS4, is because purely because it needs an SSD to give the performance the developers want, because the developers are going to just throw into it lots of stuff, lots of assets. They're going to load like a big massive world with like enemies everywhere, and you're going to just transition from cinematics to like a story again to exploration. So to have that available, you cannot do that on the PlayStation 4. It's just not possible. Simple as that. So this is why this is the perfect opportunity for us to basically have an open world game finally, with the technology of next gen consoles. And of course PCs these days, the vast majority of gamer PCs have an SSD. I mean, that's just the basic, basically, right? So if you have this, and you have your open world, and then you have your CAC, and then you have your missions, and then you have in your story missions, you have the possibility to learn new skills, and then you can join a tournament, and then in the tournament you can then, you know, go there and then fight against people and use your skills and stuff and unlock the characters, and then use them as well in the story, or use them like in PvP as well. Guys, it would just be awesome. It would just be amazing. Like that would actually be cool, because then you can get the full plethora of the Xenoverse experience, the single player, the multiplayer, the PvP, and of course the PvE experience with boss raids and boss battles and so on and so forth. Another reason why open world is a great idea is because then they can actually go beyond just releasing DLC characters. Now, there is a big problem, which of course, as you guys know, Xenoverse 2 has, and that is that they have freaking so many DLC characters. If you go up here on the top page, go to the DLC characters, there's just literally so many freaking characters. It's just crazy, right? And these characters, like, they just come there and that's it. You just pay money for a character. Now, imagine for a second now with the following. If you have an open world, you can actually then sell as a DLC package a new area, a new city with new missions. And then in that new area, there's a new boss you can defeat and unlock them as a playable character. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be the best thing? Because then, of course, effectively what you would do is you would explore the area, gather more resources, gather more skills. It would just make the game bigger, more expansive, like in that area. area that you can explore more and do missions and whatever. So again, this is really good because then you actually have the potential to definitely see more of the world of Dragon Ball. So they could add more areas, more realms. Talking about open world, just imagine for a second, like the 12 universes, because obviously in Super we have the 12 universes. They could potentially like expand this even beyond. So there's going to be an open world for Earth, there's going to be an open world for other realms, okay, for like the God realm, for like the Heaven realm, for like Universe 12 realm. So all these realms you can just fast travel between them, teleportation, whatever, or like super fast ship or whatever. And then in each realm there's going to be an open world where you can explore and enjoy and do whatever you want, right? So guys, trust me, like open world for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 is the way to go, because it would just give you so much more for your buck. And the game needs to evolve, the game needs to go beyond just being like an instance-based arena fighter, because it just, Xenoverse 2 already did that. They did that well, it was good. I mean, of course, like the story was alright, but they have to go beyond, and not making use of the technology which PlayStation 5 has to offer would be a shame in my point of view. Would be a shame to not use that to create this massive, beautiful open world, of course, for people to enjoy, to explore. You can like co-op, for example, with people, just join up with people randomly. You see like a bunch of people flying, just join them, just approach them, join their party temporary, go fight against a boss fight. Like, can you imagine like the beauty of that? That would just be insane. Like that would just be the next level of the Dragon Ball experience. Having a world which is living and breathing, and it would be like similar to an MMO, game as a service basically, but it's not just that, because it's gonna be very beefy, very meaty, with a proper story, proper development, proper end game. Because the end game in an open world, again, you have so many possibilities. You can put out like special time events, you can put out raids in the open world, you can put out special missions in the open world. Like there's literally so many things. Once you have an open world, you can just play with it so much and add so many things in the game world itself, so people never get bored. But guys, that's it for today's video on why Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 needs an open world to become the next thing, the next upgrade, the next best thing, because we don't want it to stagnate. We don't want the Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 to, 3 to be like 2. We don't want that. We want Xenoverse 3 to be the next evolution, the next step forward. And for that, they have to accept that an open world, alright, with endless possibilities is the way forward, right? Is the way forward, because many other game companies are exactly doing that. Just for reference, like I said before, we're talking about Diablo 4, The Witcher 4 as well, which is going to release at some point in I don't know how many years. All these games, right, they were instance-based before. They had small areas of exploration. Even The Witcher 3 had like smaller areas, but now they want to go full-blown, because the Unreal Engine 5 gives you that much potential to just literally create in a massive open world. And with the SSD, guys, it's all possible, which is amazing. But guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you later in the next couple. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. We're going to talk about Xenoverse 3 a lot on this channel, so make sure to subscribe and not miss any update. And as always, I shall see you in the next video.